What up, guys? How you guys doing?
Well,
Having a good
fans.
day or what? How are you doing, TSC? Have you had a good day?
I have had a pretty okay day. I have a cat in my lap right now, so if you hear any weird things getting picked up on the mic, it is her bonking her head into the microphone and trying to scratch a little face on it.
Like, oh my god, lol.
Pretty much.
Still working on the solar idea. 1010. Not only am I working on it,
Hi, 1010.
so I'm taking out a loan for my solar system, or for part of it anyway. And
Toma, Raditz.
so like I already signed loan docs. It's already in process.
Shocks, hi.
What up,
1010.
Epsilon? How you doing?
Epsilon, hi.
Yeah, so it's like a real thing. Oh yeah. I did end up going with Tesla, not microinverters, power optimizers, string inverter with power optimizers. I actually didn't want to do microinverters. In today's
It's me, Marius. Hi.
What up? It's me, Marius. Marius, how you doing, man? Yeah, so it turns out that the solar, like the microinverters. Oh, hold on. Designer's Mind. What up, man? Thank you for that follow. I missed
Thank you for
Splay.
the follow.
Splay. Oh man. What is that name? It reminds me of a Group X video from way back in the day. Are you sure that Tesla isn't all fancy branding? Are you actually getting something for that name? No. So 1010, I'm totally getting a cheaper price. That's what I'm getting for they have less premium panels now that they've moved away from Panasonic. So they use Q-Cell, which are not terrible panels or anything. They're good. Where I live is really hot, so I would prefer Panasonic panels. But for a similarly sized system and the battery backup storage that I'm doing, it would be way more expensive to go through someone else. Penguin, what's up? How you doing? Amazing poop.
Yes.
You heard Tesla. Yeah, so
Penguin's
like,
here for us. It's awesome.
thanks. Appreciate that, Penguin. Dirk Wire keeps coming out of stab. I'ma slap it. Slap it a stab. Slap it a stab.
It's like slapping the base.
So
but
that's
not quite.
that's a really good question, 1010. I don't know exactly. Right now, I've already signed the loan docs and the permits have been submitted, and I checked with my city because it's a small city. So I just talked to them directly. The permits have been approved. Literally all it needs to do is Tesla needs to pay for the permits.
You know what I think you should do?
Yeah. What?
Once all your solar is installed, I think you should do a video tour of your solar.
Yeah, I'm down. They're not that impressive once they're installed.
I don't know if maybe get some video of the process, the installation process. That'd be kind of cool.
I'm definitely going to do that. Definitely.
But
We're going to do a
maybe-
video on it for sure on
I
the
was
YouTube
gonna
channel.
say, maybe put that on the YouTubes. Maybe not on
We are.
here.
Yeah, it's not going to be on here. I'm not going to live stream. The power is going to be out to my house, so I would need to like run a generator just to keep this
Just to
room
do it, yeah.
alive. And it'll get stupid hot in here
Yeah.
because it'll be in the
Chunk
summer.
Slayer, welcome.
What up,
Are
Chunk
they-
Slayer?
Are they still actually going to get it in the summer?
Yeah, probably. So I was talking to them. They said it could take a couple months or maybe even a few months, but realistically, because of where we're at in the process, as soon as the lender sends the approval to proceed, the permits have already been approved. The city's just waiting on Tesla to pay them. So they said basically everything is lined up for us to literally schedule an install date as soon as the lender says go, which could take 7 to 14 days.
1010, I do not want to see that because I don't want to see him falling off the roof.
We want
That
a
would not be
live
okay.
stream of the system. I want to see you walking around the roof fielding questions. I mean,
Tangi's extra restocking.
ooh,
Racing giraffe.
Tangies.
Hi, friend.
Look at this awesome.
Oh, that looks like candy.
I know it's even got like a freshness seal.
That looks like candy you get from your grandma, like you dig out of her purse.
Tangies, yo. That's an awesome container, isn't it? Whee! Thank you so much for that follow. Appreciate that.
Thank you for the follow.
No one fell off the roof racing giraffe.
No, nobody fell off the roof at all, but they were asking for him to live stream his solar that he's getting installed from the roof.
I'm not going to live stream it, but I will record it
to which
for
I say,
YouTube.
please don't, because he will fall off the roof, and we do not want that to happen.
I'm not going to fall off my roof. I'm not clumsy. I just don't want to be in the way. So apparently they like anchor themselves. I have a single story house. So yeah. But apparently they like drill anchors in so they can guy themselves to the roof, or not guy themselves to the roof, but tether. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
Gotta
please,
live
if you
stream it
do
now.
stream that, like, then please tether yourself to the roof
I
appropriately.
would need to buy a drone to do that too, but I'm not going to do that. Do not own a drone.
Now now it'd be cooler to have a drone.
The pitch of my roof is really shallow. Actually, it's a 4 and 12, so it's like 18 degrees. It's not 18.4 degrees. It's not super steep. Buy the drone.
Bad breath.
I totally want one. I don't want to go buy one. Yeah, 4 and 12 is nothing. So I have a single story house and my roof pitch is not that steep. So I'm not really that stressed about it. I've been on my roof a bunch. The reason I don't want to be out there is because I don't want to be out in the sun. It's brutal. I live in the Mojave Desert.
It
is
fire?
quite solar radiation prone here, which is why I'm going to get solar.
The roof is on fire.
So I did go outside like 2 months ago. I went outside and I climbed up a ladder and I pointed an infrared thermometer at my gun. I even found out what the emissivity of solar roof tiles is roughly,
words.
and calibrated the IR thermometer, and I pointed it at it, and at 10:30 in the morning 2 months ago, so like it wasn't even that bad. Now it's way hotter. It was 168 degrees on the roof surface. I just don't want to be up there.
Would you like
I'm doing 11.
Would you like me to read?
I'm doing a little over 11 kilowatts.
Would you like me to read the definition of emissivity?
Go for it.
For the kids.
Yeah, go for it.
Emissivity is the measure of an object's ability to emit infrared energy.
There you go.
Emitted energy indicates the temperature of an object.
I don't recall what the emissivity is. I'd have to look it up again. I literally just found a table online in an engineering guide, and I was like, okay, cool, done.
Emissivity can have a value from 0, shiny mirror,
Yep, a
to
mirror.
1.0, black body.
Black, yeah.
Most organic painted or oxidized surfaces have emissivity values close to 0.95.
Sure. Okay, so I got some mail call I'm going to go through real quick. I got some Tangies, some of the V2, some of the round 2, right? Tangies. So beautiful. TKC, massive shout out to that. Look at that awesome package. It's even got the freshness seal under this little tab, like a little piece of
Looks like
plastic
fruit
that
candy.
ties that together that you can't really see. Freaking awesome. Asphalt 0.88. Yeah, I really don't recall. And then also from TKC, I got these awesome surface mount
Forever cat.
mini USB connectors for the next thing I got from them, which is a new PCB. Man, I ordered this a really long time ago. Must not have been in stock. A new TKC 1800 PCB, and I got this to redo my TX 1800 V2. So at some point we will be rebuilding that. I got that so that I can do the rear connector instead of the 90-degree offset connector. So the one that I have has an SM, it's a stock one, so it's a Liku, I think. And then it doesn't have, like, one or two of the LEDs are busted. So it's got a diffuser and it just kind of doesn't work. So we're gonna redo. Actually, I didn't build that board in the first place, so we're gonna redo. It's actually unbuilt. I did unbuild it. So we're gonna set that in our little drawer O PCBs. So you were asking about the solar system. So while I'm doing this, putting this up and getting out the customer boards, I'll say I'm getting a little over 11 kilowatts, and I'm gonna get 3 Tesla Powerwalls. And so that's part of the reason that I went with Tesla, because I did find other people who have Tesla's Powerwall 2s in stock who can install them, but the pricing that I was able to find for a similar size system with slightly better panels, but not that much more expensive panels, worked out to like 40 grand. And frankly, like what I'm looking at right now is 28 from Tesla for a pretty close to similar system. Slightly less efficient, but why not forgo the battery and just do net metering? Because I want battery backup for my house. I mean, because I want it.
I think that's a good enough reason.
Yeah, I mean,
because I want it. The end.
Well, I mean, so I'm gonna do. Well, I also want the better rates. So if in SoCal, I'm in Southern California. If you have Southern California Edison, which I do, I'm also going to switch over to, because I don't have an electric car, so I'm gonna be able to get the same rates having a battery that I would get if I had an electric car, because I get to go to time of use prime D or whatever the schedule is, the pay rate schedule, which qualifies me for their better rates. And I actually use a bunch of my power after 9 p.m. when I go into off-peak times. So better rates. How many times in the last 5 years? In the last 2 years, I've lost power for more than 1 hour, probably 5 times.
Hey, two girls.
One of them was for about 15 hours, but I have a generator, so I just ran that. But it has nothing to do with that. I just want to do it. I want to have that. And if I'm making a bunch of extra power that I'm not using, which isn't going to be the case, because I don't actually want to get solar just because I want to be greener. It's the panels are about lowering the cost. I want to run my air conditioner ruthlessly low temperatures compared to where I live, like all the time when I'm home. I just want it to be cold. I hate the hot. It's 68 in the house. And in here I'm running supplemental air conditioning, and it's 66 in this room right now. I like cold. And like it was 108 outside the other day and yesterday, and it was
that's a bit much.
And it was 68 degrees inside here. I agree with screw the green reasons. I'm not saying screw the green. I mean, I'm totally down. I'm totally down to be greener than I am. I'm gonna use a lot of power, so I need to generate a lot of power if I want to be anywhere close to green, and I want to save money. Yeah, screw the green. I'm definitely not gonna say that.
Flasian, hi friend.
But yeah. What up, Flasian? How you doing, buddy? All right. I got in on the C3 restock yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Speaking of which, you know the mechanist things, we never actually did that.
I totally thought you got them.
I thought I did, and then I remember the Ultramarines. I remember I tried, and then there was something wrong, and I couldn't get the thing to go.
Do it.
So
I pay you.
To fix that. I know. I have to figure out why it didn't work.
I pay you.
I give you money. I give.
They didn't have orange stabs. Yeah, I know, Penguin. Sorry. I got what did I get? I think I got purple and red. I know I got red. Did I get purple? I think I got purple. I know I got red. 2 red and 2 something else. I think it was purple. I'm going for the biggest carbon footprint possible. Okay, I mean that's kind of ruthless. I mean, I'm not gonna hate on you for it, but future generations may.
Yeah.
But I am just gonna have a big carbon footprint because I like it very cold. So I gotta figure out a way to make at least the monetary part of it go down. Okay, so that's one reason that's the reason that I'm doing solar. It's about money primarily, saving money. The batteries is gonna kind of offset that in not a great way. The batteries are absolutely about having that backup. I have had some outages, not that crazy, probably not worth spending an extra, you know, $12,000 on, but
do PCBs always come in little packages like that?
Frequently, not always, frequently.
Because I've never seen you actually open one like that on stream, and they look like little candy bars.
Sure. So the ROI on the,
you know, getting back to Keeps for just a moment.
The power walls,
I'm just directing that conversation.
because of where I live and how much power I use and how much I can offset and shift rather, the power walls may come very close to paying themselves off before they're not very useful anymore. So at about 13 years, right, they might have 40% life like capacity from where they nominally were if you cycle them really hard repeatedly every day. I won't cycle them that hard every day, so they won't get down to 40% capacity every day. In fact, I'll set limits where I can to prevent it from doing that, but very likely they'll just provide me some extra like happy securityness in doing that. And if I do move to an electric car, which is a very significant possibility at some point in the near future, it may also allow me to then charge that car during peak times if I want to go on a road trip or I want to go somewhere without like incurring a lot of extra price directly for charging it during peak hours. So the ROI on the batteries is not that great, especially if I don't do something like that for some reason. But the ROI on the panels is spectacular. It's like 8 years would be conservative here because of how much power generation possibility there is and how much energy I actually use. That stuff looks familiar. Glad I was able to make it in time. Yeah, Davey J, how you doing? All right, so two things, right? One, we're gonna figure out what's wrong with this board. Apparently some of these switches in here are continuously reporting actuation. I don't really know what's going on. Customer says that he doesn't really know why, but he thinks he knows it got transported with switches in, and he thinks maybe it was compressed, like offset in the case or whatever, and compressed a little bit more than it should have. And so I'm guessing one of these sockets popped off, or a diode is flaked out, or there's some kind of a short in that line. I don't know. We're gonna figure that part out. With these 2xInstant, I don't remember what the case was, but I know there was an issue with a case that these were commonly going in, where part of the case needed to be trimmed down, otherwise it would like break a diode. Now we're gonna run into a little bit of an issue with this diode. It is a diode, yeah. We're gonna run into an issue with this diode, and the issue is gonna be that I don't have the correct SMD diode to replace that spot. So if the spot in the board got trimmed down per what the customer was saying, probably it got trimmed down for the right amount to have that diode, that size diode in. So we're probably going to move one of those diodes to somewhere else, and we'll either replace one of those other diodes with one of these through hole diodes, which I can solder into place, or I might harvest a diode. And granted, even these diodes that I found are too big because these are tiny diodes. I have a Liku L3 that came out of that TX84 of mine, where the PCB isn't really working. It does have some diodes on it, SMD ones. I may harvest one of those, not like 100%. But we will. What was that? Oh, Amazon, thank you. Apparently an Amazon shipment will be on its way. Woohoo! Yeah, so we will fix those. I'm just not sure which one we're gonna do. If I had to guess, we'll probably just use one of these through hole diodes to like, and they're bigger obviously than those diodes, so The little legs will have to come in and mount to the SMD pads, but that's easy peasy. And then the customer won't even know. The customer won't even know what's going on under it in terms of it affecting anything.
You will explain it to them, correct?
Well, yeah, they're in the chat too, but
of course.
That's not what I mean. They won't know, but what I mean is they won't notice. There's no functional there's no functional difference. Those diodes are going to work just fine, regardless of what kind of diodes there. I actually thought that I had the right.
Notice a difference.
I thought that I had, and I do have. I looked through my order history. I do have the right diodes somewhere, but I don't know where. I cannot find them for the life of me. So we're going to have to use the wrong kind of diode. But it doesn't matter because it's functionally the same. So customer, if you don't want that absolutely, then you need the exact correct original part there. We'll have to fix these later. But frankly, it doesn't matter.
Are we exactly allowed to talk about that new board that those people are working on? Not allowed?
No private GBs. There's a couple private GBs that I'm a part of, and none of them can be talked about out here. Sorry.
Okay.
So if you are privy to any private GB information, which I know you aren't, there's some that you are and some that you aren't. I showed you pictures of. I mean, that's a loaded question. There's more than one.
The new one that was
There's more than one, but we're not going to talk about them
today.
Oh, I don't know. You're in contact with the person running that. You should ask them.
Yes, I am. I thought I've seen that talked about in chat earlier.
1010 GB is a group buy, and Great Britain. It's a group buy.
No, group buy.
So group buys are frequently run. That's how a lot of these keyboards are run. So this keyboard is a bad example, but this keyboard is a good example. This keyboard is the Baka 60, right? It was a private GB, but Rukia was a public GB, right? It was a public group buy that got run, and I jumped in on one. Yeah. Teal Rice, what did you just post? Ilimiki switches? C3 Macho switches? Ooh, Macho. What are these? How did those work? They have the
switches,
equals logo.
How do those work?
They're 62 gram linear.
Those are very mauve.
They're palm stems. Okay.
Salmon?
Palm stems, nylon housings. Oh, I really want some of these. Are these for sale right now? These are for sale right now. I actually really want these. These PCB mount? Oh, they are.
Yeah, there was a Tangy restock, I believe, on that site. It was posted earlier. Oh, excuse me.
Ink V2s.
Tangy.
Shop. Stabs. Macho stabs. Ooh, matching stabilizers. And they're C3 stabs. Man, that's a really great deal. Tangies are at 10. Okay.
One Lapped Down asks, do you trust the Prelube?
The Prelube? Prelube. Oh, do you mean like Prelube on some switches? No, not at all. I'm not saying I think they're bad. I just, nobody is pre-lubricating switches to the standards that I think they should be. There's never going to be buttery ones or good. Like, shipping is tough on this site. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump in on some stuff there. I want some of those switches. I already got some Tangies, obviously, so I'm not too worried about that.
Novelty Silk versus Dry. The Machos are pre-lubed.
I do not love dry lubes, Mineral 4X. I've tried a couple of them and I don't love them. Ooh, Penguin. That's rough.
Ouch.
That is rough. Are any of those things like ready to ship now? That's really disappointing. I'm gonna be really bummed if that's the case. Man, that's trash.
Novelty's dry means no lube. Not actual dry lube.
Oh. Who said that? What?
That was Mineral 4X.
I don't know. Just lube them yourself. 205 grade 0 for those linears and you're done. And you're done. You know, it's not even that bad.
Is LMKB based in the US? Asks Racing Giraffe.
I thought they were. But now maybe I'm wrong.
Well, let's do some investigation.
Okay, so they are sold out of the Tangies, which is not surprising. Bum, 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 bum. So they go live in, did we say in 3 minutes from now? Is that what's going on? Okay. All right. You guys may have to compete against me.
Oh dear.
Probably not.
Dear.
I'm not actually going to compete against you guys for those.
Governing law, section 18 of the terms of service of LMKB says, these terms of service and any separate agreements whereby we provide you services shall be governed by and construed in accordance with the laws of Singapore.
Okay. So how does NK65 come apart? Are there screws under here? Or is it all those top screws? I've not built one of these. No, it must be the top ones. Yeah, I was looking at it and I wasn't gonna.
Hi, Iowa.
What up, Iowa? What up, Iowa?
I mean,
Iowa.
you've been in here for a while, but
TSC is an expert investigator.
I don't know about expert, but
I consider you an expert.
well, thank you.
You an expert.
Hey, I put that history degree to use finally.
Just investigating.
Yerp.
Oh, are those torques? Those are torques. Man, that's bananas. BANANAS.
Bananas.
Bananas. Okay, are we pretty close? I think we're pretty close. We're like 1 minute away. Jeez. Okay, guys.
1 minute.
Man. Gotta buy with GPay. Limited quantity will arrive 15 July. So they don't have them. And it says
Will arrive 15
SGT.
July.
What is SGT? Time.
Singapore
That's
General something time?
Yeah, so
Generic?
Singapore. So they're in Singapore. So I mean, shipping from Singapore can be expensive.
Just Singapore
or
time.
slow.
That's all that means.
I mean, the C3 Macho stabs, at least, are probably not going to ship until September. What about the switches? The switches are going to ship in September, they say. So it might be October or November before these arrive.
You can't
C3
buy a matcha
machos.
with anything else. It's a GB.
Yeah. So they should be on sale now, right?
On sale now.
I don't see them. Do. I mean,
Mineral says, Sync
Oh,
host is bad.
there we go.
Maybe many weeks. Make sure to choose FedEx or DHL if you want it soon.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Eats and One Lap Down both got some tangies. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm buying some right now. Got to compete against me.
I feel like I need to like color commentary this. Iowa got 150. It's like
I don't think I got
horse racing commentary.
Did you have to have an account already?
I would assume so.
Oh no. Come on. I'm not a robot.
Penguin droppings confirms. You need an account. She just realized it and still got them, so you should be okay.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now, boys and girls. Oh, come on. Gotta confirm my account and the whole deal. I'm sorry for making you guys do this. Did it get caught in the spam filter? Come on, boys and girls.
Well done, Firefox. Well done indeed.
William KB, activate the account.
5 points to Gryffindor. Davy J got them as well. Good job.
Man, this is a bummer.
Isn't it fun speedrunning purchases?
Apparently I already have an account or something.
Oh dear.
Shop, switch.
He has a frustrate.
Yeah, I know, right? Probably a bad idea to plan on doing this while I was on Oh, they're sold out.
I mean, Epsilon, I've got to give my house points when I can, right?
No, they're legit sold out. There was 2 left when I went to add.
No.
Oh well. Oh well, boys and girls.
It happens. I'm sure they will restock. Melf.
I'm not that worried because I got some. I was just like, I might as well take care of this.
Davey J, thank you for the sub.
It's not actually what I wanted though anyway when I went on there. What I wanted is these macho switches.
Ooh.
So I am gonna buy some of those.
Macho switch. Macho.
I wanna be a macho switch. Or something.
Macho switch.
Hmm.
If we were having if that context was not about keyboards, that would sound weird.
It's I don't know what. Yeah, whatever. Pay. What is 95
coming in
SGD?
July 17th.
95 SGD to USD.
We have a question for you. Singapore dollars.
Yeah, it's $68. Whatever. So those are, in fact, in at least 90 of them.
So Wormboy97 asks, I am you, you are you. Help! I need to spend money. What keyboard do I buy?
I need to spend money. Like, you just need to burn through it. Because if you need to burn through it, then like literally go on Mech Market and try and find a Jane V2.
Do it.
I feel like
and then send it
you
to
have
me.
you have slightly different criteria than just burning through money. But if that were what you were trying to do, or like what else could you just burn? Like a number one Rev 1 or something.
Dumpling money.
Ooh, the dumplings.
I want dumplings.
Oh no.
I think 62 grams are still available.
Yeah, I don't want 62 grams. Thank you, though. It doesn't matter. I have tangies. I'm not like. I am almost certainly not going to get in on the NK65 V2, but not because I don't like it, just because I don't. I have a lot of boards coming.
Mineral says Capital One does free exchange rate. Your bank may charge a few percentage fees for conversion. It's worth making sure you're using a card that will give you a good exchange rate.
Yeah, I'm fairly familiar with my card's exchange rate is fine.
No, I think that's just teal rice. I had that happen to me before when I tried to order from, it wasn't Mechanisk, it was someplace in the UK, and I still haven't been able to do it. So I think I missed out on SA Dream Eater because of that, which makes me sad.
No. Okay, this is going off to the side because we don't need it. We don't need it no more. We're gonna set these off to the side because these will be, I think, a fairly simple fix. Okay, so this is what we know. We have access.
Dumpling party at Penguin's house. Sorry.
Right, and I think customer said, what did you say, Davey, was wrong with this? I mean, T-wheels, I'm going to be building a couple of them. I'm just not getting in. I'm just not getting in on one of them myself. And I mean, no offense to the board. I think they're great boards. So I just.
Wormboy says, kind of looking to get a cool vintage board, but can't make up my mind.
Ooh, C3s are restocked. Nice. Epsilon. Ooh, you can help. Can help what? Help him spend money? Looking to get a cool vintage board, but you can't make up your mind. You want a cool vintage board? Wow, that's pretty. That's a really. There's so many good vintage boards.
Pretty color.
How about an SGI granite? Not too expensive, couple $100 plus shipping. Usually, if and when you can find them, pretty decent. If I'm being honest, that would be a great first dive in. Someone told me something about C3 stabs not playing well with cat profile. I don't know anything about that actually. I don't know. They're all so cool. I like the Apple MO116 and other quirky looking ones. I said an SGI, so at SGI AT101. That's what you want to look for. Also referred to as SGI Granite. There's two different variants. There's the beige variant and the granite variant. Both are pretty. Granite is usually slightly more sought after, but they're both super good. I mean, they're pretty, but if you care what switches, honestly, an Apple extended keyboard, an original, is pretty freaking awesome. Model F, if you can find a Model F107 and you have the money to pay for it, that would be like primo. I do not own one, but I totally want one. So I don't actually know what's going on with this. Customer did not put switches in here, so I'm not seeing problems with it so far, which is pretty weird because I kind of expected. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, sorry. As soon as I touched something, this is what I got. As soon as I touched backspace, that's what I got. So I should be able to go to 9. Should be here, right? And I don't see anything. Oh, no. That should be 10 or 0. Oh, that's P. Huh. Do we see it go away? Let's reset it. See if it's still actuating. So it isn't actuating. So that's P. So this thing isn't doing anything. This thing isn't doing anything. Okay, so we're gonna try and figure out what's wrong with this board before we work on those others. That's not that surprising. You know what? First of all, I can't remember if the NK65. Oh, and it is. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful board. Beautiful, beautiful board. Check this out. So I'm going to go into VIA. We're just going to verify, right?
We're just
that
verifying that all the bits and bobs work.
that this thing is. I'm gonna verify that this thing looks like it has a pretty standard map. It has a backspace. Yes. Okay. Everything looks pretty normal here. Normal, normal, normal. All a normal layout. Blah, blah, blah. Do we have a momentary on? We do. It's this layer. And if we go to momentary on 1, we should be able to get an F layer up here. Okay.
I believe this one's, oh, you said you were going to do a repair, but I don't know if...
Yeah, we're doing a repair.
Yeah,
Okay, so we're actually going to pull this PCB
repair.
out. We know that this thing is actually, something is wrong. Something is messed up. Right, so let's, that'll work. We'll get our solder mat up here so we're not doing any crazy ESD to this thing. Not that we're really that stressed out about this thing.
Soldering. Yes.
Soldering. Okay, so those are really big band-aids, buddy. Those are really big band-aids. Okay. All right. Alrighty, dear.
Whoa.
Focus 9000.
Those are ginormous.
Oh, yeah. So Focus 9000, 9001, those are great boards. They do look cool. Or 2000 and 2001. I could go get some of those. I actually have some of these boards we're talking about. Dell AT101 is cool, but very hard to find actually compared to the SGI variant for some reason nowadays. The AT101W, which has a Windows key and a 6.25U spacebar, that's pretty common actually. But if you just want to harvest switches and make something that's out of Alps, it kind of depends on your budget, Worm Boy. So what's kind of your ballpark budget, right? Because if you want something that's got cool Alps switches and cool brand new keycaps and is a modern looking board with vintage switches, that brings us into a whole different world where it might get pretty pricey. You want to keep it under 200. And you want a vintage board? Search for a Focus 2000 or 2001. That's really where you're at. You might be able to find one of those with white Alps or something for in that ballpark. An AT101W will keep you solidly under that, and it doesn't have clickies. They frequently come with Alps blacks. Don't mind if it's a newer board. Find one of these, an NK65. But it might actually cost a bunch. So the Focus boards are really cool, some of them, because they have this awesome cover that's built in. Oh, it's super slick. All right, so here we go. Plug this back in, right? I mean, the lights do in fact work, which is fantastic. This caps lock, do we get an indicator there? You know what? I'm gonna pull up switch hitter. Okay.
Yum. Or is that more along the lines of Hot Pocket? Switch hitter.
Hot Pocket.
Hot Pocket.
Hot Pocket. Page down. Okay, this stuff works. This stuff works. This stuff works. Works. Cool. So we know that stuff works. Enter pipe. Okay, pipe just straight disconnected. That's weird. Disconnected. So pipe is just, yeah, trash. Oh. Okay, tell you what, this is really weird. I'll kind of tell you why it's weird. In a second, I guess, because I'm looking at this. And I feel like it's odd that these would be disconnecting. There's nothing inherently busted about these sockets, right? So it's almost like the controller is winging out, but that's okay. Microvision.
Nice. I like that you're singing it now. Wormboy says, time to find my grandma's purse again. Oh dear.
Huh.
Enhance. Where's BBB when you need him?
Yeah, it almost looks... I mean, honestly, if I had to guess, I would say there was some issue.
Wormboy says this is actually just a live feed from his cybernetic eye.
Yes. Yes.
QCSI intro song. Microvision. Yes.
Okay. Here we go, boys and girls. Let's get ready to do this thing.
Y'all ready for this? There should be some more intro music there, but...
So that could be bridged right there at the top.
Oh.
Ever so slightly.
Do you have something to point with?
Yeah, those right there could be bridged.
You know, I'm sure somebody else will point this out as well, but it's amazing to be able to see that under the microscope because...
So did somebody
I don't know
touch
that
this
you'd be
up
able
with a
to find
microscope? Did somebody touch this with a soldering iron?
Davey J and Gamerbuilt keyboards.
Look at how those are at
follows.
a different angle.
Those almost look lifted. A little bit.
I mean, those might be fine.
Gamerbuilt keyboards, welcome to the stream.
What's up, Gamer Built Keyboards? How you doing, man?
Penguin,
I feel like
we
we're
kind of are
investigating a murder.
investigating at least a murder or slight keyboard crime going on here.
So if you look right there, right, if you look right here, you see like a bunch of flux residue. I mean, it was cleaned off pretty well. Also, some fibers. We're gonna just destroy that evidence.
I feel like you should put it in evidence.
But if you look under here,
back.
it's like somebody put solder on this and reflowed it. I don't know. Okay, it's possible that this pad, this last pad, like right here, these ones don't have anything flown on them, and then up here I think there was two that looked like they could have been bridged, right? So we're gonna clean that up a little bit right there. Let's see what we get to.
Keep on keep crime is the worst kind of crime.
Maybe it kind of looks like it. Yeah, it looks like that to me, potentially, Davey.
So here's a good question. Amazing Poop asks, how do you clean off flux from a keyboard? Do you just, or from a PCB, do you just wipe it off?
I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show you.
Please hold for demonstration mode to activate.
Look, cleaning solution.
IPA.
Yeah, there's actually some in here.
Did you dye that one too?
Huh?
Did you dye that one too?
No. It's not died.
I love that you have a little cork on it. That's funny.
But yeah, it doesn't
It's
do
like
much.
a potion bottle. No, it doesn't. Not at all. Cork is actually kind of crappy for keeping out things.
For keeping in alcohol?
Yes. So this is isopropyl alcohol. I believe it's 99%.
Yeah. This is technical grade alcohol. It is
Is it graded
99.9%.
specifically for electronics?
I mean, kind of. Above tech grade, there's medical grade. So this says technical grade, right? And it's 99% isopropyl. Actually, this is probably this MG Chemicals stuff. And it says electronics cleaner on it, but whatever.
But people will also call it IPA, which is funny.
Which is not beer. So
Do not drink that.
Not
Definitely do not
beer.
drink it.
Yeah. You would have a very bad time.
Amazing says my discipline is getting smeared with flux. Yeah, you can, get some of this and you can clean it off if you need to.
Yeah, it'll kind of help. So there's clearly flux residue on here. Like even right here, I'm kind of seeing it move around. I mean, this is technically cotton, what's on here, so it will leave some fibrous residue.
Yeah, you've got some fibers getting stuck on there real bad.
I'm not that worried about it.
I mean, it'll go away once, like, you can brush it off once it dries.
Yeah. I could literally just do this.
Davey says, so prior repair.
Yeah. And I answered him. I think yes, potentially. Sorry, I'm going to pull this off so I can... Okay. Need to use a... I need to use a different kind of a cloth. Hold on.
I think for...
Hold on.
Do you have an actual brush?
Oh, I do have brushes. Yes.
Brush.
A brush? Oh, brush.
Brush.
Ah, brush.
Give brush.
Give brush. Give brush. Oh, brush. Get brush.
Now this is a brush with... Is it...
No,
they're not
this
metal.
is isopropyl. No, these are
the actual
these are nylon
fibers.
It's nylon fibers. Nothing.
So synthetic
Nothing
fibers for
cray.
that brush.
Yeah. It's okay. We're just kind of getting that off. Right? And I'm going to...
And yes, the liquid looks scary, but it will dry
Oh yeah, totally.
without harm to the PCB.
It's absolutely isopropyl alcohol.
Do not lick. That's gross.
We can
Ick,
dry
ick.
that. We can dry that like real quick.
Yep. See? Ooh. Look at the magic of evaporation.
Well, it's also a reflow tool. I'm not putting a lot of heat on the board.
Sure.
Because I don't want
It
to.
looks cool under microscope.
I mean, it is hot, right?
The PCB is getting some miscongeniality makeover, says Penguin. Absolutely.
Okay. So
Now, once you've
Here we
dried
go.
your PCB for 5 minutes,
it actually does not look as though. Oh, actually, if I'm looking at it real close. So we have a few options here, right? I believe this is if anything, this is a power thing or it's a controller thing. Right, so it could be some of these legs over here, maybe. Maybe those two. So what we can do is we can kind of put more flux on here. We can try and reflow this. If you look at these, it does appear as though there's quite a bit of solder on some of those, not on others. We could try and hand flow these. These actually look pretty okay over here.
thanks, Shocks.
What's up, Shocks?
He
Whoosh.
says, TSC, more Valley Girl voices, thanks.
Like gag me with a spoon?
I mean, I think the one about, you know,
Yeah, these.
dry your PCB or let your PCB dry for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let it dry for 5 more minutes. This actually looks kind of okay up here. Over
CSI
here,
keyboards.
kind of looks okay. Oh, down here.
How far down there? Because oh, the bottom. Yeah, that still looks a little weird.
Okay.
Penguin says Valley Girl.
If I had to guess right now, I would say that that is bridged right there. Those two joints.
So
those
do you have
look
to
bridged to you?
completely? It's honestly, it's a little hard to tell. Can you make it full screen
I
for me?
can. Can you hold on one second? I will.
Absolutely. Chat, you guys might want to take a look too. Oof. Does that look bridged to you? Can you point out exactly where you are looking?
Oh, sorry. These two pins right down here.
The bottom two? On the...
Yeah, they look
Right.
maybe bridged.
I
Maybe
think
not,
they could
though.
be.
Maybe not. It's really hard to tell.
Mm,
Trying to clean that up with one of the.
what about the bottom of that?
It might not be.
It
Might just be that
gunk.
one or more of them have a bad connection.
Could be. And the top of that looks really funky.
Like it's cold almost.
No, like there's something happened to the surface. I don't know if that's just drying IP or if that's something
Yeah, it's
else.
just flux. It's actually flux residue that I didn't clean
Okay.
off all the way.
One left down. Penguin Droppings has the best emotes.
That could be. Oh, that very well could be bridged right there.
What are you pulling out of there? Or is that just...
Kind of trying to wipe away whatever's in there, whether it's flux or
solder or whatever?
fibers from what I did and what was there already. I would say that it's right here, or it's those top ones, or sorry, the bottom ones, the bottom side ones. We can, for what it's worth, put kind of smear flux all over here so that all the solder wants to go onto the traces, the exposed traces. Ooh, that's promising. Look at how shiny that is between those. That is a bridge. That is definitely a bridge connection.
That's a tiny, shiny bridge connection.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a pirate penguin. A pyrwin, if you will.
Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna put flux around most of these pins, and we're gonna kind of reflow one side and then the other. Like I think that's the right way.
Attach the flux capacitor.
No
Asking for a
flux
friend.
capacitors. Asking for a friend. Okay. Yeah, so I mean at this point we're not really gonna hurt this thing. The one other thing we can do is we can look up here at the connector and make sure none of these are obviously tweaked or messed up.
Can we enhance on a molecular level, please? Because clearly that wasn't close enough.
And we're gonna go one more time. We're gonna look real close. But honestly, these look clean. I mean, there could be a little more solder flowing onto this one joint up here. But the rest of it looks good. The pins are obviously grounded on the side, so the shell. This looks pretty good. Honestly, these should be passing current. So there's one other thing that I'm going to do really quick, right? And that is I'm going to like plug it in and I'm going to press down right here and I'm going to try and get the same effect, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to throw some switches in. Switches should we throw in?
Switches, pitches.
All right. So we were getting some issues with this tab, right? Or not tab, pipe. So we're gonna put a pipe in. Right. And then I think we were, what else were we running into problems with? Yep. Okay. So that disconnects instantly when we hit that. And it like goes into reset mode or whatever. So we're going to physically apply pressure to the controller. And we're going to try it again. And it disconnects instantly. Okay. If I recall correctly, we were having problems when we... That's definitely not a 12, that's backspace. So this is plus and equals. Weird. So that's not causing the same issue now. That disconnects. Okay, so 9. So this should be plus, minus, 0, and 9.
That LED glow, though. Damn.
Yeah, it's quite bright. So does this do anything? No. Okay. So whatever pin controls this column right here is actually what's going on. This is another reason why I think it's the controller. And the solder mask is thick enough that I'm probably gonna have a hard time finding this, but if I look at this under the microscope again, find one of these switches, right? So this switch right, so this switch, it goes to this diode and then it goes from this diode to this diode. No, that's not possible. Oh, it is. So these are in a row. Okay, cool. So the other pin goes to, okay. So it goes right there. Okay, and they're columns. Yeah, so there is a column one that's messed up. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna reflow this controller. we're gonna do this pretty simply, right? There should be some solder on there. Sorry, am I missing stuff? I must be missing something, and I'm sorry.
Nope, you're fine.
Okay.
We're all caught up.
All right, cool. So what we're gonna do is,
Remember, I would read it out loud.
okay, I appreciate it.
I think people are just interested in the
We're gonna get some
keyboard
flux.
CSI that's going on here right now.
There is some keyboard CSI going on right now.
It's
But-
like watching true crime TV, except it's electronics crime.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it was a previous repair or what the deal was. Right. That we are going to let dry out for a minute.
Previously on Law and Order.
Frankly,
SQU.
this is obviously an issue with the controller. Two of the columns are bridged, obviously, and it's obviously like this column and this column somehow. So we are going to reflow these. I don't know exactly where it is. I believe, right, that it's up there where that shiny bit is. I'm not going to trace all of that down super hardcore. Take a while. What I am going to do is reflow them.
Amazing. I would agree. This is really cool troubleshooting.
So we're going to
Just
start with that
seeing
side.
how you walk through this for science.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't see any liquid in here anymore, right? It doesn't matter that much anyway. But we're gonna put this little lure lock deal on there. Let me grab a paper towel before we go crazy with this because, well, if I'm being honest, it's gonna make a mess. Best science of all science. Thank you so much, Penguin. Appreciate
Is there
that.
a Horatio Kane in the keyboard community?
Whoa. All right, so we're gonna get some flux flowing on this. Okay, cool. Thanks. Right now we're
Why
gonna
would you use a paper towel and not a non-porous surface?
no, because I want to soak it up
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
because this is waste,
Okay.
and I want it to be trash. I don't want it leaking out of this thing the whole time. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull our hot air back up. We're gonna let it come up to temp. Sure, that's loud and you guys can hear it, and I'm sorry.
This is very, very sticky flux. Not as good as sticky rice.
200C, 260, 275, 300C.
What's that in
Should be
F?
getting to 350. It overshot a little bit. 370C. Okay, Google, what is 370C in Fahrenheit?
370 degrees Celsius is equal to 698 degrees Fahrenheit.
So about 700. So we're actually going to turn it down just a little bit. We don't need it to be quite that hot.
It's a number that is high.
Okay, Google, what is 350C in Fahrenheit?
350 degrees Celsius is equal to 662 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's good.
It's like a bajillion D.
Okay, so we're gonna kind of heat up the board around this area. I probably shouldn't have put all this flux on here right away.
Thank you for triggering my Google, says Mineral. That's funny. Shock says, whoa, since when have you had hot air? For a while. See, guys, he's focusing right now, so
There
what
they are.
questions do you have, or we've all entranced with
Okay.
to troubleshooting. Can you move it up just a little bit because it's kind of coming off the screen?
Oh, I'm trying to only do the top.
There you go.
Okay. That might have just worked, hopefully. We're gonna try those ones on the side in just a second. In fact,
Did it get far enough on the bottom?
okay.
He has a little, amazing, he has a little bitty fan on his desk, but I don't think he has an actual vent yet. That's in the works.
Okay. So now we're gonna put this back up.
Chat, can you help Teal Rice with his question?
We're gonna turn
I'm
this thing
thinking of
off.
selling my Nikon
I'm gonna play with it
Z6
again.
for a
And if
Fujifilm
I'm really
XT4.
lucky, this might just have fixed it. Man, that would be great, wouldn't it? Yeah, okay, that's cool enough.
That would be spectacular. We'll find out in a moment.
It may not work now. Hopefully it does. Okay.
Oh.
So pull up switch hitter. No, probably not.
Nope.
Yep, okay, and it disconnects just like it did before. That's okay though.
So,
I mean, honestly,
What's your
that might
next
not be
step?
the only thing that's wrong with it. I'm just... I think we reflowed these ones down here. They look like they did. Yeah, those clearly... look like they went... That one actually looks like maybe it's not connected at all. I don't think so. I need to refocus, sorry.
is everybody doing okay with this view? I know when it's this large, sometimes people can get a little motion sick. I just want to check in with the chat and make sure you guys are all doing okay.
Yeah, sorry guys. Hopefully you are.
No, that's why I'm asking. Mineral says I'm getting hungry. Well, that is one reaction.
It is a reaction. Sorry, I'm hand holding
Wait,
the
who
whole
has
thing in
chips?
the
I
air.
want chips. Neurotical says, I don't know how you do this on stream. I'd be so stressed out. Mad props. Thank you, Neurotical.
So I'm kind of curious. Thank you. I appreciate that, buddy. Kind of
Josh has been doing this for a long, long time.
Well, not like this part.
Soldering. Not particularly keyboards, but soldering. So,
Yeah, I haven't been
that's
flowing hot air
really,
very
really gooey.
much. But it's still really warm.
Well, you did heat it up to like a bajillion degrees. That's a scientific term.
That's 11 bajillion to you.
Yes, sorry. Sorry I blew up.
Thank you so much for the raid, MaxF. Appreciate that, man.
Thank you, MaxF.
Hopefully your audience doesn't get super motion sick right now. I'm actually going to turn this view off so that people don't start getting motion sick. I'm going to go back to this view. Yeah, so we did reflow this whole deal down here, and it does not appear to have helped. So there may be a trace somewhere that's busted.
This is microvision, guys.
Yeah, sorry about that. I mean,
It's
the
okay.
connector looks good,
I mean-
but it's not the connector.
It's okay that you're moving it around not in the full screen, because otherwise I think that would make people sick.
Yeah, the full
but,
screen, I think, is what kind of does it to people.
Yeah.
What up, guys? All you raiders, thank you so much for
Thanks,
coming
Raiders
in. I do appreciate you guys.
of the Lost Key.
We were just trying to repair this PCB, so I'll go over it again. Kind of what I'm getting, right? Whoa. Okay. So when I plug it in, right? Boom. Oh my god, a keyboard. I don't know if you heard the doon 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 or not on the stream. Hopefully you did. But if I plug in a switch like here, it's like, oh my god, it totally works.
Guys
Let's
and
reset
yells.
this, right?
I
Oh
think
my gosh.
The best one is y'all. All y'all.
Yeah, y'all, sure. Oh my gosh, an F6, an F7. I still kind of can't figure out why there's an F7, because there should be a function layer going on here. This should actually be the function layer, and that's what should get an F8. Actually, yeah, that's weird. So I'm gonna change this momentary on to be escape. Okay, it's escape. So now if I do this, okay, I don't get escape, and I do get F8. So that's kind of weird. Why don't I get F8? Oh, hello there. Yeah, okay. So function layer is always on.
And it's purple, apparently.
Ah, okay. This is making better sense. So the function layer is always actuating. So probably some of these were backspaced. So that is always on. Okay. Okay, more is making sense now, boys and girls. Basically, I think what was happening is we were getting a function layer reset all the
This
time.
one?
No, I don't think so, but we'll go back and check.
So function is bridged somehow, is a question.
Yeah, probably. So we know that this row is faulty, right? This row where 9 is. 9-0.
There it goes. So I've typically seen you use tweezers when you're doing this. Why are you using a switch this time? Or
'Cause
just
it's hot
you wanna
swap.
use a switch?
Because
Gotcha.
it's hot swap and I don't want to fiddle with sticking the tweezers all down in there.
Fair.
Okay. And then this is not functioning, obviously. Okay. I think we've identified kind of where we're at now. Because if I start pressing these other situations, so we may actually have fixed something, but not everything we wanted.
These other switch-uations.
Yeah. I see what you did there. All right, cool.
Great Wolf Dog, thank you for the follow.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Really do. Anybody who's not already following or subbed, consider going ahead and doing that. And we already tested all these ones before. So I'm
and
pretty
I
sure
already
what's
posted all of our socials, so go ahead and follow us there too. And also on our YouTube channel, Kalanopes, for more fun keyboard content.
a little bit more on the sciencey side, like we're doing tonight, actually.
It is a
Okay,
little
so
bit
I'm
more.
pretty sure it's just this stuff. Let me test the other column, I guess. Okay, we have now done something in every column, and we've identified that that one column is totally fragged. This is a little bit easier to deal with. I believe that what happens, if I put something in that column, don't I get all the actuations? No, I get none. Okay. Okay, none of the actuations. So,
Yes, these are keyboards.
where is that column heading? Where does the column... Where's the top of that column go? I think it might be...
Mineral
Sorry,
says
boys
want to
and girls.
buy schematics.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah, so I believe what's going on here is legit. There's a one of these pins. Oh, that might not be okay. Now I feel like an idiot. Yeah, there's a different controller on here. Also, there's two of them. Ooh, okay. That one just looked like it had been reflown. So I kind of didn't look around and I just messed with that one. But there's actually two other chips on here that could be of significance. So there's this guy, right? Which... Now we could just be a bunch of bubbling fools and kind of reflow every pin on all of these, which would be somewhat ridiculous.
There is a manual for this, you know, and a circuit drawing layout.
What's going on there? There is a drawing?
Yes.
Oh, is there now? Did you
Yes.
find one?
Yes, I did.
That was problematic anyway. That actually looks problematic. But okay, let's look at the drawing. Can you post it?
I did.
You post it in chat?
Mm-hmm.
I bet we find that it's right there. Okay.
Well, it's maybe not the best thing, but
is
I
this
also
the
did find the manual.
NK65 V2?
Let me
This
double
is not
check.
it. This file
This-
says Q60
Oh,
underscore
hang
2
on.
PDF. This is not for this.
Hang on. This is the NK60,
5, not V2.
not V2
Not V2.
entry edition.
Nope. But go to it and I'll see if it looks like it's the same board.
All right,
It says
NK65
NK65 V1.1.
NK65 PCB V1.1. Maybe take it out. There we go.
Okay, you go ahead.
Yep.
I'm not sure yet. So the other controller is right here. Let me know when you post that thing because I'm not paying attention.
I will.
So here's the other controller, and this is an STM32F, so this is actually probably where we've got stuff going on, but you see any that are obviously messed up? I totally reflowed, you know, one that I didn't need to, like a fool. What is a T3713, I wonder? Kind of trying to look at what this one obviously does. And this looks like it goes. Yeah, this is the controller that's obviously controlling stuff.
This isn't an Instant 60.
No, it's an NK65 v1.1.
Okay.
Sorry. Like,
Nope.
nope. I thought I said what it was, and so I'm like,
Yep, you did, and I was just double checking because. Wow, this is frustrating, guys.
yeah, I'm not surprised if there's not a schematic available. Yeah, it's definitely down here. It's definitely on this controller. I do not see any bridged anything on this. Like, this looks really clean, as far as I can tell. I guess there's a possibility that down here. Nah, it's super clean looking. It's possible that this one pin is not flowed at all, like has a cold joint or something. Try not to scratch off the flux mask with my super, or the solder mask with my super sharp. I mean, this isn't a big deal, but right there, that little scratch, but you should not scratch that. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna plug it back in, and I'm gonna apply some pressure to that joint, or to that actual controller, because customers said that it worked at one point. Right, so we should be able to backspace plus equals minus 0.9, right? So right here.
I do not think I am going to be able to find that for this.
I'm not surprised. Stop trying if you don't. Man, so irritating to track down issues like this. I mean, honestly, if we don't get this to work, then customers pretty much just screwed in terms of the board. Like, he'll have to get a new PCB. Really want to avoid that happening. Okay. So this bottom one is in fact actuating, right? Down here, because we mapped that to escape. No, it's not. Okay, so there's a couple other things we can try. Which won't fix it, but will kind of validate that we've got the right idea. What up, Pen Ice Music? How you doing, buddy?
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah,
Pen
I feel
Ice
like
Music.
I'm using a bunch of your guys' time. Like, I feel bad because we're not getting to like some kind of exciting build.
I think the actual key to CSI that's going on here is pretty cool.
I'm not hating. I'm just,
Amazing Poop
it's not
asks a
super
multimeter.
exciting. Yeah, I do have a multimeter, but what do you think? What do you want to do with that multimeter?
Is everybody cool with the troubleshooting?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Shooting at trouble?
Shoot it. You shoot it right in the face.
Get that trouble.
You get it. Okay. So there. Okay, that's got to be the row. One, two, three, four, five, right? So there's 5. Okay. So I'm going to do this crazy nonsense over here. Or I get a really long one of these leads. See what human current is.
See what the human current is. Yes. That is apparently the ask.
It should be pretty much none. I do not have an O scope here, so we probably cannot measure down to the level of voltage that you want to measure down to get that. Nor can we measure down to the currents that you want to. Okay. So zero. So this is our 9, right? So this is our row right here. So if I plug this row into here, I still get 0 because into this column, right? And I should get, yep, and backspace or equals and then backspace.
I hope you guys are all taking notes on this because there will be a test later.
There won't be a test, right? So backspace. Great. Great. Okay. So this is the row. Right? Great. Great. So this row and this column so anything on this column that I do should register. So 7 7 7 7 and then this is probably 6. Yeah, okay, cool. And then I think this one. Okay, likewise 8 8 8 8 I think. Yeah, okay. So clearly this row thing works, right? So this should be whatever's below 8. I. Why does this? I. Okay. Oh, weird. Okay. Okay. Rows and columns, cool. And then we're not going to get anything on this whole column because this column is dead. So we need to find out where this thing goes back to. So on this leg right here, we need to find where it's supposed to lead back to.
One Lap Down has a question and says,
Go ahead.
What does pink signify in VIA?
Pink. What do you mean?
On the screen. I don't think this is...
Yeah, this is switch hitter,
I
not
was going to
VIA.
say, this is switch hitter, not VIA.
You're switch hitter.
Thank you, Shocks. Shocks
Wait,
says
what?
it means chatter.
Oh, the red. Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah, that means chatter, and it's just because here I can make something else chatter too. Maybe.
Does it just mean like the connection isn't great?
Yeah, it means that it's intermittent, basically.
It's sending an intermittent signal instead of a constant signal.
Yeah, I don't know.
Chatter's way more common when you're doing this manual jumping.
Yeah, but it's not actually chatter, right? So chatter is the condition where you have this switch depressed to one point, and even though you're not moving it at all, it's sometimes registering continuity and sometimes not, right? This is just manually flickering it, so the red means nothing, basically, in this scenario. Okay, so basically I need to find out what these columns, this leg goes to. So this is like I, U, because it's the same. Got it. Yeah. So these legs right here are the column. So I need to figure out what those columns go to, where they're wired to. I may get lucky. I may get super lucky and figure out that I probably need, frankly, much better probes. Right, so we have continuity, great. I should do this not live.
So you have been streaming for 1 hour and 48 minutes.
Thank you, Siri.
You're welcome.
So I kind of didn't expect it to be here. I expected it to be on near the bottom of this side. When I find one that says 0 or very near 0, so it's this bottom one is this
Hi,
column.
10 strong. This is keyboard surgery. It really is.
The one above it is that column. The one above
Or
it is that
Maybe
column.
keyboard CSI.
I moved it up one, so that should be this column, I bet.
But the board's not dead yet, unless...
Weird. So if you look back at this column right here, right, I get like 0 resistance across there. And I would expect this one to be none. Right, so if I move down one, there's just nothing. Then there's something. Now, any one of these that I go to, it's looking like I'm getting some kind of resistance. So there's something broken and shorted out potentially. Or that's the one. So this is 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Yeah, I know you guys can't really see that. So the 4th pin in should be continuous with this whole column. So Y, but it shouldn't be continuous with this column or this column. Why is it continuous with this column? Okay, now I'm super confused. Okay, are these supposed to be continuous with one another? Like, are these actually just one column somewhere? Okay, you guys are seeing this, right? So no continuity, which is good. Okay.
Do you think you can zoom in the overhead just a little bit?
Yeah, in a second I will do that. So this
Thank you.
is
It's just a little hard to see.
backspace equals minus 0.9. So this. Hold on. So basically what I'm doing on this controller on this side is I'm seeing what the resistance is, searching for continuity between pins, right? And I find that that 4th pin down seems to be promising. I'm not 100% sure what it is that I'm missing there, but I'm gonna put it under the microscope and I'll just look, right? So basically what I'm saying is this 4th pin down here. Is that not connected well? It's a weird one. So the thing I can do is I can take this off, right? I'm gonna put this little jumpery deal. Let me just find the row that I should be working with. Yeah, okay. So it's this one, right? So row, and then if I just bridge down here. It's not surprising that it disconnected.
Strong asks, do you count the shorter corner pin or thinner whatever one? I'm guessing that's what W/E means. Okay, I'm just checking.
Do you do what?
So 10 Strong is asking, do you count the shorter corner pin or the thinner corner pin?
The thinner corner pin? Define.
Yes.
Here, let's
I'm
talk about
Baymax.
this for a sec.
Thank you for the follow.
Thank you so much for that follow. So what are we discussing here? The shorter corner pin?
There's one that looks a bit slimmer.
Huh.
Which corner?
What is going on there? You know what's a really
left
funny
side, upper left.
So really funny.
Lower left.
Really funny story. Wasn't even looking at that. What is that? Looks like a little piece of debris.
Uh-huh.
Oh man. If you just sleuthed it out, I'm gonna be happy. Oh, that's silk screening.
That white? Okay. I mean, it looks like there's a little bit of residue or something.
On my tweezers?
No, on the little leg of that, but... Yeah, I think
Okay.
you got it.
So I think it's not 1, 2, 3. I think it's 4 right here. Something's going on with this guy. Now I don't know if it's at the controller or not. When I try and bridge right there, I get it just fucking like resets. So I don't know if that's bridged with something, if it's messed up in the controller itself, or if further down the line there's something that bridges to power or something. Right, but we know that should be this column as far as I can tell. That fourth pin down. And if I look at it, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, it goes to here. And if I go to that guy,
Racing Giraffe says, been gone for a bit, but how's the repairing going? We are still in the middle of this mystery. I think we're getting closer. However, here's my question. At what point do you say F it and like desolder the thing and put it back on?
desolder what thing?
Or can
That
you?
controller? We're
Yeah.
not going to desolder that controller. So it's this trace right
Ozzy72,
here.
welcome. Davey says, gonna leave the stream running but got a crash. Can't wait to rewatch at work tomorrow. My NK65 might be dead. Good night, all.
It really might be. Sorry, buddy.
Davey, well, thank you for stopping by. I hope we can resuscitate this thing and bring it back to life. Frankenboard.
Yeah, sorry, man.
Not seeing a lot on microvision right now, though.
You're
are
not?
you just examining? Yeah, or are you just examining what's going on there?
Trying to find where where we're terminating. So we're that
Okay.
third one over. So that's that third one over. Where we're like following. If we had a schematic, that'd be way better.
Sorry, I tried. I couldn't find one.
Oh, I'm not criticizing you. So it's that third one down. It's the second one down. It's that top one. So it's that doodad. It's that. Okay, that is in fact the one. I'm looking at it in person and that is definitely the one. And that goes to the column on every single one of these runs, which is what I would expect. Why is there a through hole there? Oh, that goes to the diode on the other side. Okay, maybe. Oh, it goes to the trace. Okay. So, yeah. It's some bullshit, guys, but it is that fourth pin over. So the thing we can try and redo that I think is worthwhile, I guess, I don't even think it is, honestly, because I think it's this controller itself has something messed up with it. And I say that because when I try and bridge this connection itself to the 9 row, and I'll show you that actually under here.
So we have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Woody DJ11 says, why does this board look really greasy? And one of the responses was, it's matte, and if you have the slightest bit of lube on the stabilizers, it will get everywhere.
Yeah, and it actually doesn't look that greasy compared to what we see a lot. It's just, well, it's under a microscope. Like,
You just need to go back with a Q-tip and isopropyl alcohol to get rid of it. Yes, but make sure it's 99% electronics cleaning isopropyl alcohol. No Kibi said French fries, and I feel like that is the more plausible answer. Is French fries are responsible for this? The grease on the PCB. Because snacks.
yep. Okay. So when it bridges to that right there,
He's not even paying attention to me, you guys.
I am. I'm just not gonna honor your.
Just sitting over here, talking to myself, talking at the chat. But he says I'm gonna have to take my board apart and clean it. It was one dry delivery. On his part or on my part? 10.
Yeah, so that's 8. Damn it.
On my part. Yeah.
Okay.
Philly in New Zealand says, thanks for your recommendation. Picked up a lubricante.
Ooh, lubricante. Good job. I approve. I think
Because snacks. Yes.
if you want that Alice layout, then that's a great. Okay. So this
So we have
third
another-
one should give us 8.
So we have another question. No Kibi says, was the left side of the controller previously repaired?
So I do not get 9 on this. So I believe that it's internally messed up. Eight. This should be 9.
You can see now why I read the chat while he's doing this.
Yeah. And that just disconnects us. Okay. So we are literally going to reflow that thing, but I believe that the controller itself is trashed.
Raro.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
So there was another question. Was the left side of the controller previously repaired?
The left side of this controller?
Yes.
No, not as far as I can tell. And if you look at it really close up,
Which we can do.
I mean, we've scratched the tops of them a little bit. The fourth one maybe is bridged with the one next to it. It's really hard to tell. I don't think so.
Poor controller.
Yeah. No one asked.
Welcome.
No one asked. How's it going? Don't say no one asked. Okay. So we're gonna.
So we have solved the mystery of the bad controller.
Well,
Or
we haven't
possibly.
fixed the board though.
Well, I didn't say fixed. But we have identified what
What we think is going on.
we think is borked.
Yerp.
Tony was here. Tune in next week when Dr. IMEURU says to microcontroller, go flux yourself.
Go flex yourself, buddy. Go flux yourself.
Or flux off.
Flux off biarch. So we're coming up to temp. We're gonna solder. We're getting to soldering temp.
We're soldering.
We're soldering.
Have you tried soldering?
Harder?
Yes. Shock says, I love it because it's just like Louis Rossman, but keeps. Racing Draft. I would binge watch a show like that. Noted. No one asked. I am doing well. Josh, how are you doing?
I'm pretty well.
Also, no one asks. Tofu just came in. Awesome.
Okay. I would not be surprised if there wasn't enough solder on that, maybe. Ooh, okay. I literally just watched it solidify in front of us. That's going to be one really hot component. Surprisingly not that bad. Okay.
It's surprising how actually little that is compared when you actually see it under the microscope, or not under microscope.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounded like one of the characters in Minecraft there.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna try and resolder the rest of the components on that controller, but I have a feeling it's trashed.
So replace controller.
Oh no, we're not gonna replace the controller.
No,
these are not worth doing that.
Question.
Yeah.
That is question. That is
one. I don't.
Question that is asked.
One, I don't have an STM32 or whatever to replace it with. Yep, STM32 303. Right? We're gonna zoom in.
Is that still just wet, or is that
STM32F.
something on the component?
It's flux. It's flux residue.
Okay.
It will never dry on its own. But we are gonna do a little more. So here's the rows. Bloop.
No one
Redo the
asked
top
what
two.
switches are going to go on your tofu.
On my tofu?
No, I'm asking no one ask
Oh,
because there were questions, so I'm
but he
repeating
said
the
no one
question.
asked.
I mean, I don't know if he meant no one asked about his keyboard
Oh,
or
okay.
her. I'm not sure if
Maybe that's what
Or
they don't want to
there.
ask.
I don't know
I'm messing with you guys. Sorry.
why you gotta
Play it.
why you
It's a
gotta
play
be
on the
messing with
name.
me like that.
I mean, you know,
This is
Yes.
harassment, sir.
that's why I have mod. Oh, not to harass them. That's terrible bad.
No one asked said I have creams right now, but I might get some H1s in the novel key strap. Or the NK, yeah, NK drop. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm real tired today. One Lap Down says, is he creating a hostile work environment? I mean, that is a really angry soldering face you guys are looking at right now.
Arr.
So maybe hostile, but only to himself?
Oh noes. The hostility.
Gonna get twit-longed.
Okay. We have reflowed everything on it.
It's a miniature hairdryer for your keyboard. Why is it
But
smoking?
But a very, very powerful miniature hair dryer.
Neurotical says, how much does a controller like that cost to replace?
Honestly, the controller probably cost a few dollars. I'll let that cool off a little bit. Pretty warm.
I mean,
okay.
it was smoking, so
It was smoking. Okay, so this is best
it might
bet.
set your hair on fire. Yes.
This is the best bet.
So we've solved the mystery of the wonky key.
Well, I don't know about all that. I'm pretty sure the mystery is this is
I mean, it's not
busted.
mysterious anymore, other than is busted.
Yeah, it's busted. Eat our busted.
Is broke.
He's broken.
So is there something going on with the other PCB as well?
Yeah, those other two PCBs that we had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is definitely busted. So I want to be 100% clear, right? This thing is broken, but
Can you give us a synopsis of why it's broken?
no, I really can't. Like, the controller itself is obvi messed up. And I wish I had more details about that. I really do. Yeah, so these two things are controlling LEDs in some capacity. This is the switches controller. Switches, birches.
So what about the other two PCBs?
So the other two PCBs are Instant 60s, and they're actually for a different board. And those have some other completely separate issues on them. And those are going to get fixed fairly simply. Yeah, these are going to get fixed fairly simply, right? So we're also going to do this under microscope.
Under microvision.
Oh, microvision. All right, so check it out, right? So if you look right here, right there, there's something missing. Oh my god. There is a missing diode, and there's a missing diode on each of these in the exact same location. And the reason that diode is missing is because it got torn off. You can tell there was one there, and it got ripped off. So the case that the customer put this Instant 60 in, who stole the diodes? Apparently the case itself, and I guess this is common, I don't know what the case was, and he took off, so we probably don't know, right? But the case has some kind of support under there and it crushes it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this little guy, this little diode, and we're gonna put him over there. And we're gonna hope that under whatever's here, there's more space.
So we're rehoming him.
So this right here is actually what the problem was, probably. When you throw this PCB down, whatever holds this in place sits there. So you have to probably notch the support out so that a regular diode can sit there, because this is where a screw goes through.
So Bobby Slayer asks,
we have another one right here.
Is that diode not being used, the one that you want to move?
No, that diode is important for this hot socket switch to function correctly. So if I plug this in right now, right? Hopefully all these LEDs aren't stupid bright. Oh, cool.
So why would you be moving one and not adding an additional?
Yeah, so I'll show you guys what's up, right? So if I try and... Right, if I put this up here. So Q works. Tab does not work, right? And under microscope, right? No diode. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That doesn't work, right? If I bridge this, okay, that's gonna take a little bit of effort, right? I bridge that to here. You see tab actuates, right? So basically that diode is useful. It's needed for tab. So we need to put a diode there in that place. So we have, as far as I can tell, a couple of options. We can take one of the other diodes and put it in that spot, knowing that, hey, that diode will be just fine. Or we can take one of these much larger diodes and kind of move it off to the side, but bridge the two little terminals in that spot, and then it'll work just fine. And I think that's what we're going to do, because we can kind of accomplish that like right now, right? And we don't have to remove another diode.
Bobby asks, right, but what key are you removing the diode from?
Yeah, so I would have removed it from a switch to put the small SMD diode there, and then I would have put one of these diodes in the other one's spot, because these diodes are pretty beefy compared to those little itty bitty ones. Here, I'll show you side by side, right?
Joanne asks, what do you guys think about the new NK Silk and Dry switches? Chat, anybody have any opinions
I
on that
have
one?
no thoughts, man. I have not played with them at all. So I don't have any diodes of that size. I thought I did, but apparently I don't. I was wrong. So what we're gonna do is I think we're gonna just kind of bend these little guys out of the way. And we're gonna place them down and make sure that this thing is roughly in the right orientation. Like if we solder this right here, we need to bend those
Obviously,
legs in a little
no.
bit more.
You are not the only one who enjoys soldering.
No. Yeah, soldering's great. Soldering's great, man. It's great.
There are a lot of people that enjoy this hobby for the sole purpose of soldering.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. But there are plenty of people who don't.
Oh, for sure.
And they enlist the services of people like me. Right?
Soldering is fun, but it is definitely a skill, I think, to do it right.
It is.
Bobby Slaya says, if I have a midlife crisis, I'm switching over to a soldering career.
Okay, man. You do you.
Wait, who am I kidding? I'm happy to outsource. Oh, that was from Ozzy.
Oh, are you, Ozzy?
I think soldering is very relaxing for me to watch. It's kind of like, it's a little bit like ASMR. Ten Strong says, at least from Zeal's account of how the switch process goes, as he told me, there always has to be a tiny, tiny amount of lube or the machine wouldn't be able to stems.
That sounds right-ish. I mean,
Yeah, that sounds like it makes sense.
it passes the logic test. I don't think that the amount of lube that anybody's actually putting on there is like any of the menus are putting on there. Or
Can you move that down just a little bit? Can't see what's going on.
yeah, hold on 1 second. I will.
Bobby says, I've yet to try the sliding technique soldering. It's the only thing that worries me.
Sliding. Do you mean drag soldering?
Yes.
Okay. Drag soldering, honestly, like, should not be too scared of it. Scared.
Scared.
I think a lot of people make it out to be much tougher than it actually is. If you've got good flux, you should be able to effect pretty decent drag soldering without too much concern. I know that doesn't necessarily help. Like, don't be scared. It's easy. That's not exactly what I'm saying. It's not easy exactly. Okay, I think that's actually exactly where we want stuff. So now we're gonna fire up an iron. Yeah, at least from Zeal's account, yeah. So it's pretty straightforward, man. It's really about flux. Just make sure you have some decent flux, and you're gonna make it. I promise.
Easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy.
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure I had it right.
Bobby says, I bought a flux pen, but I want to get some paste. Also, hi Stash. What's up, brother,
What up,
man?
Stash? How you doing, man?
Wait,
Look at
who's
this.
doing some ironing? You're doing ironing?
I guess let's make sure we have this thing in the right orientation.
It's probably a good idea.
Yeah, it would be really dumb if we didn't, right?
Sesh says, good, how are you?
I am fine, sir.
You need to move the thing down about a centimeter. And a
Sorry.
little bit to your left. Stop. Perfect. Don't move.
Also, yes, I stopped and didn't move. Right there. Sorry. So then I bent that into place.
You're sneaking off the edge of the camera again.
Yeah. I'm gonna fix that though before we start soldering. Okay.
Oh, I thought that's what you were about to do. Okay. Soldering iron of doom.
Of Dune.
Yes.
The spice must flow. The solder must flow. The caster must flow.
Yes. Shuck says, make sure the diode pin isn't touching that nearby pad. It might actually be.
It's not.
On
You
the
guys,
bottom?
you guys don't have
By
the
the
angle
MX?
I do. Yeah.
Because that looks pretty dang close.
Oh, it's close.
Oh.
But not in 3 dimensions.
Cerca pero no cigarro. All right, cool.
Sorry. From my angle, totally good to tell.
Got it. Got it. The top down, it looks a little iffy.
Yeah, that would be bad because there could be an actual considerable amount of current running through that.
And it could go bzz.
Bzz, bzz.
The Z-axis comes to the rescue. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will squish it off a little bit more.
He likes to cut it close, living life on the edge.
It's actually not close
Yes.
really at all now. Like, at all.
Bobby says, I wish I had a better understanding of circuitry. Dee Decline, thank you for the 15-person
What up,
raid.
Dee? Thank you so much, man.
You
Appreciate
have
that.
joined us on CSI keyboards.
Yep. So
Tonight.
now, if I plug this bad boy in, and I go back, and I look at our tab,
Dee.
tab. So now tab works. Yay!
Woo.
Now we're gonna do exactly that same thing for
Hooray.
the other one. And
Kimchi Jody Boy says, I am you or you.
She
Dee
be done.
Decline to harass you with questions about your next purchase.
my next purchase. Ooh.
I am you or you, Rossman.
Well, thank you. I
I'd
like
to
Louis
call-
Rossman.
We should just call him the Key Whisperer.
I'm down to talk to Louis Rossman about keyboards. He'd probably be like, you guys are silly for spending this much money on keyboards. What the F is wrong with
Probably.
you people?
Davis the Great, thank you for the follow.
Thank you so much, man. Anybody who's not already following or subbed, you guys should think about doing that. Like, you should totally do it. Okay, so my next,
Sean Buller, thank you for the follow. Bobby
My-
Slaya, thank you for the follow.
Thank you guys. Appreciate that. Sean Buller, Bobby Slaya.
Damn
Hey,
it, Bobby.
what are you doing posting the Kalanopes one before mine? Before mine?
I
Oh, you didn't?
post it
Okay.
before
I was
yours.
like,
Thank you very much.
My socials.
Big Earn 302, thank you for the follow.
Thank you guys. Appreciate that. Also, though, you guys should sub to the Kalanopes YouTube. It is going to be pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Please do. We've got a couple videos up. I've got more on the way.
I
just
thought about it.
edit. We have a whole bunch of episodes getting ready to go. I just need to find time to edit most
A bunch of them
so.
are like actually going. Yeah. So, man, I'm trying to think about
There's
what
one
my
that
next
has live chickens in it.
board purchase is. I don't. Iron 180 is 100%. Like, I'm going to buy in on one of those. There is one that has live chickens. She's not lying.
I'm not.
She's actually absolutely telling you the truth.
I may have somehow worked in the phrase top cluck into that episode.
Ooh, top cluck. WTF.
No, cluck, as in chicken.
Yeah,
cluck,
I know.
Cluck.
Not.
No, I'm clarifying that. I'm clarifying that for chat.
Okay. Yeah, I already knew where that had to be going.
Yeah. Just clearing that up.
Yeah, clear that right up.
I just want to make it really clear. I love Brian and Jay to pieces.
Me too.
Not insulting them whatsoever.
Like decent dudes, IRL, not trying to start. Don't start none, won't be none, right? Am I right? Am I right?
We should. Shock says we should have an episode where we rate Josh's chickens. We can call it Top Cock.
I mean, but they're girls.
They're all girls though. Top chick. Oh man. Comments got a little spicy here.
Oh, I bet they did.
GMK groan. Hi, Jeff Leopard.
Wow.
How you doing, friend?
Jeff, what up, man?
Anyone own Novel Keys PBT black on white keycaps? Thinking of getting it for my Romeo 40%.
I don't, but I do. I have on multiple occasions played with the ABS EPBT. So if you've ever played with EPBT ABS, I know the brand EPBT, but ABS double shot keycaps, those are actually worthwhile. IMO.
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing? I know I've asked you that like 3 times already tonight, but it could change on a dime, considering.
Could it? Considering.
Crown comes Thursday.
Wait, what? Yes. Oh, your crown comes Thursday. Mine doesn't. Shh. I'm actually not butthurt about it. In case anybody actually is like, this guy's really mad at Blind Assassin. I'm not.
Actually.
Not even a little. I totally understand what's going on with that board. But I cannot freaking wait. Also, mine does not come Thursday, unfortunately.
Oh, also, that person that I was talking to earlier
It is the way
said
it goes.
that it was 100% okay to talk about the squid.
Oh, okay. Well then, talk about it. So
I'm really excited.
That's the GB we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, that was the GB we were talking about earlier. I just wasn't sure if I
was
had,
like, don't talk about
clearance.
the GB unless people told you to talk about the GB that they
it's
invited
public,
you to.
So, it's a thing. However,
Yeah, so
I
that
don't
GB
wanna,
is going to be
steal
super
somebody's sunshine.
cool. Well, I mean, I know, but you still don't talk about.
That's why I was saying I didn't want to steal somebody's sunshine. And I
come
checked.
on.
What did you break?
I didn't break it. I just flicked the thing that is hard to place off the place where it was placed properly.
10 Strong says Chewy was talking about it earlier. Yeah, Chewy was talking about it earlier. But,
Chewart Little? Wait, Chewart Little?
Chewart Little, our chewiest friend. That Clifford Mao. Hi, buddy. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it.
Clifford
would be
Clifford
Mr.
Mao. Thank you so much for that
would
Prime
be-
sub, my friend. Appreciate that.
Mr. Cliff Mao.
Is that Cliffonius?
I think that is Trav.
That's what I mean.
Yes. Rotating my Amazon Prime sub between y'all. Yay! Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that, buddy. I do. What a boss that guy is.
Eco, thank you for Eco, whatever. I'm still gonna call you Eco. You fight me. Thank you for the resub with the.
Thanks
Twitch
for that sub,
Prime.
buddy. Also, apparently she's getting spicy at ya.
It's okay. I can get spicy at him.
I mean, you can, but he did just sub.
I mean,
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate
he's
it.
okay with me getting a little spicy at him. It's not a bad thing.
Oh.
Oh,
okay.
Lemon Pie. Thank you for the follow.
All right. You know what? Just solder down, okay? Solder down now. This one is proving to be a giant pain.
Oh dear.
You know how quick that other one
what
went?
soldering
This one is
iron are
not.
we using? Do you have the soldering iron in the command?
I do. It's exclamation point iron.
Done.
Yeah, and it's the Pace ADS 200, my man.
The mat's in there too, I believe, and the solder that you're using. So if you guys want those, I can put those up too.
It is in there. It is. All right, there we go.
Woody DJ says the Instant 60 has more LED than the DZ60. It looks like.
Then the what?
Than the DZ60.
That's down. It does look like it does, doesn't it? That's because it does. Because it has through
Radiots.
in switch.
Welcome back. You missed. We switched PCBs.
Yeah.
And we've also talked about the latest Kalinopes episode with chickens and
Is
Top
the latest
Cluck.
one the one that has chickens?
Yes.
Oh, Top Cluck. Top Cluck. Oh, that was
and
pokey.
derivative words there from there.
All right. So now
And Josh stabbed himself.
only a little.
Just a little stabbing.
Stab. All right. So now
if
we
you're
get
not
to
stabbing yourself in the
Oh
side
my
just
gosh.
a little, you're not doing it right.
the tab works now. Yeah, so it does
Oh,
have
geez,
more
guys.
LEDs because it has all these bottom LEDs and then it also has in switch LEDs. So now the tabs work on both of them. And we're done, unfortunately. I say unfortunately because we were completely unable to fix the NK65 V1.1.
Because it is broken.
We did, however, completely reflow this controller. And we identified that fourth pin down. So 1, 2, 3, 4 should be the row that 9 is in, the 9 key is in, but no matter what we do, we can't get that row to actuate at all. Not even if we direct jumper a wire to there. We even literally followed the trace out, and I by eye traced it the entire way back to that column. So I know that column that what is it? It's like 9 OL whatever to the right alt area. But it just didn't work. So not even if I jump her directly to the pin does it appear to actually function. So I believe that this controller is busted. Busted.
No. Is the Instant 60 a good board though?
I mean, so it's hot swap. I don't think they make a not hot swap version of it. What zone are you? Zone? Like time zone? Are we in? We're in Pacific, so it's 9 p.m. right now.
Well, you're in Pacific.
I'm in Pacific, yeah. She is not.
I am not.
Yeah, so 10 strong hit the nail on the head. On the nose. Right there. He's right on the nose.
Oop, right in the nose.
I believe that hot swap is not a good way to go no matter what. So I would avoid it. I would get a solder together board.
Hot swap, more like not
The
swap.
end. That's really all it comes down to, unfortunately. Okay,
is that?
I can go into it a little bit. Okay, so if you look at the way that if you look at the connector under there, right, for just a minute, I don't want to break this thing, but if I lift that up just a little bit and I push on it, you can see that it flexes and moves a little bit, independent of the PCB surface. So your switches will wiggle back and forth a little bit. as a result. Plus there's these swipes in there that the pin slides in between, which will also allow it to wiggle a little bit. Now maybe you're thinking, oh well, the plate prevents that wiggle because the switch clips in, right? But it doesn't 100%, it doesn't engage fully. It's a combination of that clip in and then the solder joint holding on to these pins that kind of prevent it. Once it's pressed all the way down against the board, there's not play, so it really doesn't get to rock anymore because it's sucked down against the board. So basically your switches, well, they just do better in a not hot swap board. But the really critical thing here is, now these are Kaiwa Kale hot sockets, right? These little hot socket deals, these are the best hot swap options. They really are. Mil-Max sockets are the next best, and then there's something called hole tights. Hole tights are complete garbage. Never use them, no matter what. They're actually that bad. Never, ever, not ever. Mil-Max, so Mil-Max has this added unfortunate characteristic where it sits above the PCB. Like it actually, literally the rim of it sits up here, and it solders back down onto the back side of the board, and that piece that sits above can interfere with, if you look at the switch where this bottom of that switch pin connects, like there's a tolerance now. There's something that's going to bridge the gap between the PCB and the bottom of that switch. Now you may be looking at this switch and you're like, but there's these little tabs right here that are little spacers, and that's true. But this one on this backside is actually shorter than the Mil-Max height, which means that your switch will sit right. If your PCB is here, it'll sit kind of at an angle, not this steep of an angle, right, but a little bit of an angle, and it'll cant just a little bit forward or backward if it's a north facing LED switch. And so basically you're using something that really wasn't made to be a hot swap socket for something that had tolerance spec that it needed to be in. So Mil-Max also isn't a very great option. Even hole tights are unusable. Mil-Max isn't that great of an option. In fact, if you have a high-end custom, let me put it this way: why would you spend $4, $5 or more $100 on building a board and it have some kind of weird tolerance issues or whatever that make it just not perfect? You want it to be the best it can be. Don't put Mil-Max sockets in it or hole tights. The best option is what we've got here, and the biggest problem with them is actually that these solder joints, because they're not through hole, they're SMD, under mechanical loading can be pushed off. I mean, they can all be pushed off, even through hole stuff, but in this case they can be completely snapped off. Now sometimes just the solder, especially if it was a cold joint, is what will break when you try and put a switch in here and this thing comes dislodged. But most frequently what will happen is this whole square pad underneath it will come up with it. You will literally delaminate the foil layer off of the fiberglass. That sandwich composite thing is what we call FR4. You will delaminate that pad directly off, right? And the big issue there is now somebody has to go back and do trace repair, and what's going to happen is they're going to bridge that little connector right there on that diode with a wire up into here, and this whole socket now is going to be loose here because the thing that's mechanically holding it on this end, at least, maybe on both, isn't there to hold it anymore. Now there's some tricks. You can try and use some glue. Hold them for a sec. There's some glue. I'm on my soapbox now. There's some glue you could use maybe to hold this down, but invariably it doesn't really adhere that well to the solder mask that's applied to the PCB. And so what happens is now, anytime you want to hot swap this thing, you have to take the board apart. You have to stick your finger on the back of this thing while you insert the switch from the other side. And that's why I think that hot swap is just bad altogether.
So for the commentary,
Only good for
Ten
switch
says,
testing.
why introduce tolerance issues when you've paid so many premiums for excellent tolerance down to like the 100th of a millimeter?
Correct.
Far from here says, I agree. I removed the whole tights from my board because I couldn't put my speed switches to it. I wasn't having that. Epsilon Keyboard says, that's why Keychron has now started using an adhesive on the hot swaps. Far from here says, the whole tights effectively made my board not hot swappable. A Lemon Pie says, I feel like hot swap is good for mid to low tier customs, aka tofu, if you are new and want to. But for high end, I'd say solder all day. 10 Strong says, you would still have the inherent issues mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so lemon pie, lemon pie, sorry.
Lemon Pie.
So I agree with you almost exclusively, but in my opinion, so I build boards for people professionally, right? I'm selling a service to you. When I have a customer come to me and say, I want you to build me this hot swap board, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say no. Just outright no. The only cases, it is a hobby for me, but I still take it seriously as though I'm providing a professional service, because I would be foolish not to.
I mean, yes.
So I do not want my name attached to a product that I know is inferior. Like, I know that this thing is going to have a problem one day. I know that this thing is going to break one day. I know that this thing is going to provide you with a less than adequate experience one day, and I won't do it, right? There are a couple exceptions. Sometimes I get messages from people who are in the hobby. I've dealt with them before, maybe I haven't, but they're super into it. They've got all sorts of boards. And it's really the only option, or they absolutely want one, right? And they know what the score is. But more often than not, people who come up to me and they want a custom keyboard made by me and they want it hot swap, they're saying that because they think it's a feature that's really cool and totally worth it, and they're new and they don't know that there are these inherent downsides to it that frankly make it completely not worth it for anything other than just a tester board, something to wade your feet in so that you can figure out what it is that you want and then get really into it. And I feel a little bad because it seems elitist when you start talking to somebody and then I have to explain that entire thing to them every time, because I don't want them to think that I'm being an elitist prick. I want them to think that I just want them to have a good experience, and I don't think that that can provide it. I would rather not provide them any experience with me than a bad one.
I think of the other part of it too is that you're not being necessarily elitist. I think it's sometimes like a deeper knowledge of in the hobby, and almost a deeper knowledge of like electronics themselves, because not everybody really understands what they're getting into when they get into something like that if they're new to the hobby. Like, they're not going to understand all those nuances, and I think a lot of people appreciate that depth of knowledge.
Sure. I mean, they won't understand, and I think, you know, if you go into it and you know exactly all of those things and you're like, I still would prefer to have this board, I understand that one day it'll have some failures as a result of this, probably, not potentially, probably, and I still want one of them because I'm just getting in, and I know I'm gonna fall head over heels in love with the hobby, and I'm gonna get 5 more boards as time goes on, and I just need to test all the switches that I want, right? Then that's totally legit. But nobody, for the most part, ever comes to me and says that. What they're saying is I just want the end all be all. I want my end game now, and my end game now is a hot swap Instant 60. No, this is not the one that I'm talking. This is the NK65, but this is sure NK65. This is as good of an example. I want the NK65. It's my end game, but the difference is, right, this already has these sockets built into it. I can build this for you, like put it all together for you and make it, tune the stabs and everything, lube the switches or whatever. And then when this PCB fails, it's not on me. But when you want me to solder this thing together for you, then I'm liable for that part. And now I'm liable for that bad experience that you're going to have one day. And that's the part that I'm not okay with.
And there's some really good stuff coming up in chat. So
I agree with Kid Vinkley. I agree with that part.
Yeah.
You're totally right.
So somebody's saying it's not, or Olemin is saying it's not elitist. It's more that you want to give somebody the best service. And One Lap is saying helping people make an informed decision is not being elitist. I would agree with that. Racing Giraffe, there is no end game. I would also agree with that because there's always new boards coming out. There's always new switches. There's always new keycap sets. There's always the next thing. So I think endgame is really what is your favorite thing for the moment, not for all time.
It is, because there isn't an end to the end game.
Right.
Oh man, that was stupid sounding, but I liked it. So Dub Sedan,
it made sense.
and Keyboard Krill, thank you guys so much for those follows.
Both of you.
So 10 Strong said something up above, which is where he said, I hear gatekeeping every time. And yep, it does sound like that. And I'm not trying to gatekeep. I'm not trying to like prevent people from getting into it that way. I just don't want to provide a service that I think somebody's going to have a problem with later.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily gatekeeping. It can sound that way, but you're trying to keep people from making a decision they're going to regret and dumping a bunch of money on something.
I'm actually not trying to prevent them from making their decision to do the thing they want. And that goes back to what Kid Vinkley said. Mine and theirs are not the same thing. The thing is, I'm totally good with them making the decision they want to make, especially once they've made an informed decision, right? I am just not okay with being the instrument of that decision if it's a decision that I think is going to reflect poorly on me, the service that I offer them, and lead to a bad interaction ultimately.
Amazing says endgame is 2% milk.
I agree.
You're right. Yes.
Awesome. 10 Strong Kid, I think it's more you're going to have to turn around and say, well, it's not going to get you the 100% experience just due to the sockets. Yeah. I don't love them for that. And
unless you want to sort of knowingly allow someone to stay uninformed. Far from here. I started down this keyboard rabbit hole this year. There is no end to this. Ozzy says, my wife wants an end game. Davis the Great, you have to completely make an exit if you want an end game.
Yeah, I read those. I heard you say that the one before that, right after that last one, and I was just like, yes, your wife wants an end game.
And possibly make the same mistakes or learning gaps you already have gone through, etc. Woody says, it's crazy nobody ever goes into this
depth with hot swap.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for explaining. Rafa Mundez says, missed the earlier convo. What do with the hot swap?
Rafa Mundez, the long and short of it is, if you're getting into the hobby and you think you're going to be in the hobby because you like it for a while, hot swap is setting yourself up for failure. Unless the only thing you absolutely want out of it is a temporary solution that allows you to test a bunch of switches in a short period of time before it becomes trash through it being something that has a limited lifespan.
So
and a not good
says,
experience.
Thank goodness we have separate PayPal accounts. Winky face. Gigster says, off topic, but any preference in lube for an HH?
For an HHKB, okay.
Or 3204.
So if you're doing, so I don't have a big preference there. I'm not a big Topra guy. That's no secret. I have lubed Topra before on an FC980C. I used 3204 and I thought it was good. I would use 3204 again if I were going to do it and not 205 grade 0. I think that you're going to have a little bit more play. You're going to have a little bit more lenience with it. And I think it's thicker than 3203, so it's unlikely to kind of settle and squish around where you don't want it. So I would choose that middle ground and do 3204. Personally.
So Kid Vinkley says, I just joined this hobby and I personally am staying away from hot swap, but I don't think you should have someone build you a hot swap. I feel like the whole point of a hot swap is giving you an easier, accessible build experience. And I think that's for the most part true. I agree with that. And I have, for people who were not my customers as a result of exactly what I just said about hot swap,
on my tirade. I have helped people pick a parts list for their hot swap and gone over it. Like, they made some modifications. I went over it and I was like, yeah, I think this is going to get you what you want. I don't see any fundamental issues with this thing working. So I have done that, and I support that thing if you know you want hot swap.
So Skoa says, so you recommend me to buy a DZ60, but not the hot swap RGB version?
Yeah, pretty much. The DZ60 is fine. There's really nothing wrong with that board. And now that it's in VIA, or it's VIA supported, like, it's great. It's a little Swiss cheesy, i.e. there's a lot of, what's it called? There's a lot of holes there that don't
gaps?
need to be there. But I mean, I have boards like this board right here has a DZ60 in it, and I'm not unhappy with it in any capacity. If I had this to do over again, I would put an on C in it, but because it's a keyless, so I mean, like, it just kind of makes sense. But DZ60 will give you good practice, and there's so much compatibility there that you'll kind of get to learn exactly what things you need to put where to get it to do what you want it to do. Rikuza, it's hard to mess up soldering, but it's easy to mess it up if you don't do any research or homework before. I suggest you go back and watch some of my VODs where we talk about it, or hit up the Callan Obes YouTube channel. At some point, we're going to have a soldering video. It'll be a little while because we haven't recorded that one yet.
Because it's going to take a while.
So it'll be like 4 or 5 videos from now. But but we will have one, and it will talk about it. You can also watch my VODs. I talk about soldering fairly frequently.
You do. It's a thing. It's not a bad thing. Rafa, did you answer Rafa's question about, are we talking about Milmax hot swap or Kale hot swap?
Sorry, I was reading Rikuza's thing about soldering irons. Get a TS100 if you don't have any other soldering iron and you need an iron, or do the !iron command and look at kind of my general recommendations and what I use. Sean Buller, I can't think of a Hacko product that I would prefer over anything that I listed in my iron command. But there are good Hacko products though, so I will say that.
So we were talking about
hot swap versus
Milmax or Kale hot swap.
If you have to pick one of those, absolutely Kale hot swap. Absolutely.
Do we have a recommendation on hot swap for testing switches? Obviously affordable, accessible to assemble, etc.
A board, easy to assemble, and you want to test switches?
Bye, Racing Giraffe. See you later.
Hot swap
See you
boards
Sunday.
are good for just that one thing. Thanks, Racing Giraffe. I appreciate it, man. Take it easy. Yeah, I mean, hot swap boards are good for just testing out switches. So the DZ60R's RGB is totally a good idea, I guess, if you want to do that thing. But just know that it has those problems we talked about. Death and option 10 strong. Oof.
Cake or death?
Hot swap or death? Death, please. Now, while I'm too broke to buy more PCBs for more boards, I might just buy a hot swap because I can use more switches in it, and I also have a horrible desoldering tool which makes the process so much longer and annoying. It seems like a flex, but I gotta be honest, if you're into keyboards, the DSGOD, the Hacko FR301, kind of the one to do. But it is worth getting if you're going to be into boards and you're going to desolder a bunch. I know it's $270. It's like half a keyboard worth of money. You will
giggle the first time you use it.
Right?
I mean,
it's so cool.
Make the noise again, because really, it's just.
All right, I'm done with
It's
that.
gonna wake your whole neighborhood up. Sean Buller says, thoughts on magnetic switches, Hall effect sensors?
Old ones or new ones? Are you talking about the Keystone, or are you talking about like some vintage Hall effect? I don't have a strong opinion on them. I hope that they're really good. I haven't played with them.
Why not?
Yeah, I haven't played with them. I want to, I really want to.
Keep Noob.
Keep
Thank you for
Noob.
the raid.
Thanks for the raid, man. And the Keep Noob viewer that came in, thank you, Raider. Hopefully you're having a
Thank
good time.
you.
We're actually, like, to be honest, on the wrap-up side, we got on a tirade about
We did.
how,
Why are we awake? I have no idea.
Yeah.
But welcome.
but thank you so much for the raid. And
The burp burp is back.
oh, I don't have a keyboard hooked up. That
Is your Baka not hooked up?
it is now.
Tisk,
It is
tisk,
now.
tisk.
Okay,
So what? I have a question.
maybe.
Led Zeppelin fan, dude, why are you ripping off stereotypes? Wow.
Nice,
Troll.
bruh. Nice, bruh.
Nice. Let's see.
Appreciate it, man. Also, I'm a Led Zeppelin fan too.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. So
Oh my god.
you have an $11 iron from Amazon, which comes with a desoldering pump. That's kind of rough, bro. That's kind of rough.
I think my soldering iron is probably about the same amount, but
Ooh, get that TS100. I'm telling you. Okay. No one asked. Take it easy.
have a good night. No one ask. Thanks
Dude,
for stopping by.
I am totally gonna go give you a follow, Keep Noob. I totally want to check it out.
Oh, close.
But that being said, thank you so much, honestly, for coming onto the stream, for rating, and everybody else. Thank you so much for viewing. I really do, really do appreciate it. I need to see who else is on. Is anyone else live? Our Tuesday nights frequently lead to no one else doing, well, keyboard streams. Chonk Slayer. Are these guys building boards or no? Also, there's Mr. Horologist. He's the
Oh,
watch
that's
guy,
fun.
right? Isn't he the watch guy? Oh, no. Chonk Slayer is totally playing.
Yeah,
totally doing
that
that.
Led Zeppelin fan guy is gone.
Yeah, whatever.
We banhammered him.
Thank you, I guess. I mean, like, honestly, I don't know what that's all about, but
I mean, I'm
Meh.
not going to sit here and listen to somebody who's trolling. You've been doing this for over a year, and
yeah, it's all
Nathan,
good.
while Nathan is awesome, he's not the first one
yeah.
to do keyboards.
Of course he
and
is.
he's not going to be the last.
Yeah, of course not. And Nathan and I are cool. Anyway,
Of course, Nathan's
we're gonna
amazing.
give Chonk Slayer that raid. Everybody,
Yes,
thank you
Chonk.
so much. I'm probably gonna watch him for a minute, and then I gotta clean up, and then maybe I'll see if Mr. Horologist is still doing some stuff too.
Nathan, wait, 10, what was that? Nathan didn't invest
He
Cherry?
meant invent. Yeah.
Oh, invent.
I mean, he invented keyboards. Duh. People didn't even
and
use
Twitch.
these before then. All
He
right.
invented keyboards, Twitch, and Cherry.
I love you
Mind
guys.
blown.
Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to be heading out. You guys have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you on Sunday. I
everyone.
wasn't going to see you on Sunday. I was going to be out, but instead I'm now going to probably build my Rect or something, or maybe my TX 1800 V2. All right. Bye. Later, guys.
Bye.
Oh, jeez. Thank you so much for the raid. We kind of stole your voice mod idea, but in a really scuffed way. Thanks. How was your stream? I tried to catch a bit of it, but it was a Corsair K70. The rest of it is, let's see if I can, or most of the rest of it is here.
project I'm waiting for parts. And yeah, it's a scuffed lube station currently. Yeah, it's rebuild. It was my brother's keyboard, and I'm rebuilding it for our dad for his birthday, because he currently has a membrane Red Dragon. Oh, sorry. I'll adjust. Can you guys hear now? Okay, cool. But yeah, we're rebuilding it for my dad for his birthday. And yeah. Yeah, all the browns that were on it are currently in boxes, and I don't know what to do with them. But yeah, so that's gonna be an interesting stream. I think it took me 2 days to fully take it apart. Thank you everyone for the follows. I don't have stuff set up too much, but eventually I'll get there. Oh, 1 minute. Here, look at this. Before you go. So, this is a cream housing with a kale speed pink stem that I cut off the click bar piece, and it has 200-gram Unholy Panda springs in it. And it's dumb, and it's something I'm doing, is dumb switches once in a while. And yeah, so that's kind of what I'm going to be doing once in a while, is just taking switches and making stupid switches out of them. I tried with 3 springs, but didn't work. It wouldn't even compress halfway. But 200 grams was enough for it to be compressed, so that was fun. But yeah, another project I have that I'm waiting for parts for is my Keyhive Nightmare. Oh, well, it's a friend of mine. It's not it's not a nice voice for you, but he's eating Skittles in the background somewhere. I don't know where he is
I don't think you guys want to hear me eating Skittles the whole time.
Yes, it can.
What's up, my dude?
Oh, did I just put... Okay, no, I put it in the right way. I was really hoping I didn't put the lube in my beard. Like, I need to shower, but that would have been annoying.
Did you see the keycap I just sent you on Discord?
No, I didn't. Let me see. Oh no, a Timo keycap. Oh, that looks scuffed as fuck. Why is it $100? That looks so sketchy.
Because it comes with contraband.
No worries. Thanks so much for the raid and for the follows and everything. I appreciate it. I'm a really bad League player, but I've mained Teemo since I was like 10. But and yeah, the plate is getting painted. Yeah, I'd be down for that. I don't know how capable my computer is for streaming games. Like, I know it can't handle Valorant streaming. Awesome. I will save that.
Look, you may not be able to stream Valorant, but I can play and stream League of Legends on my pocket watch.
Yeah, but I used to play more. Like, I play a lot of TFT now, just because it's like because I'm working from home right now. I can just play TFT while working, and so like that's the majority of my League time. Yeah, but like TFT, I was playing just casual before, but now, even though I'm not high ranked or anything, I only play ranked because it's just more fun because there's competitiveness to it. So like I actually spent the money on the Universe Pass or whatever it's called so I can get the skins and everything. You really should. It's fun. I'm a really bad player because I literally play one comp. Like every meta rotation, I play like one comp, and then when it changes, I'm like crying for a week until I find a new comp that's dumb. Like right now, my comp is 6 cybers. 6 cyber? Yeah, 6 cybers.